at SHOT Show 2019 with our good friend Frank Galli of Sniper Side.
Welcome to the show.
How you guys doing?
Oh man, it has been quite a show. Let me tell you.
Yep. If it wasn't me sitting with the 6'5" guys, it wouldn't be SHOT Show.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. You know what I've kind of realized? I think they architect this whole show just around you and us. I really.
Yes. It's all about us.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we're in day 4, I guess, technically, because we count range day.
Yeah, right? Monday, right?
Yes.
We're at Thursday. We have about another half day left.
Monday was awful.
Yeah.
Were you out there?
It was windy.
It was like
kept on blowing me over.
I mean, now I know what parts feel like in a bead blaster. That's basically what it was.
We packed up and left early. It was terrible. We were out at the ATAC range all the way on the end, and it was just.
I didn't know you were out there. I thought you hardly ever go out.
No, I worked to a range for Mile High.
Oh, okay.
So I run the AI stuff.
Yeah.
AI has an inside one, and then they have an ATAC one down the way.
Yeah.
So I worked that with Mike.
Okay.
And we ended up packing up early and leaving because it was just miserable.
Well, we're going to visit our good friends Diane and Randy Pennington tomorrow. Absolutely. Hawken Spur, Tad Gear.
Save the best for last.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I want to know, I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of the same things we have. What's caught your eye? Anything kind of new, exciting from your point of view?
New product has been really light. Actually, the best things I've seen won't be around for a while, but I saw, I like Gunworks' new stock, and I like what they're doing with the adjustability in the back. I've been talking to all the stock people. I want the wheels like Gunworks did, and I want that 360 left, right, up, down, and all that kind of stuff. Oler 89 is kind of my gem of the show right now.
Chronograph.
It's a unit that will calibrate your BC, time of flight, your curve, do everything. Like what they're doing with the Doppler custom curve and all that stuff, you can do it yourself for $2,500.
Wow.
Computer software, the older stuff, you go out, put the far target, bing, bang, boom, you create your curve, and now you're customizing and getting that calibration for your rifle out to whatever distance you want.
Okay, something else I have to purchase. So is it an optical chronograph?
No, it's acoustic. It's like a 35p up front, and then it has an acoustic unit that goes down, which is wireless transmitted, so you can put it out at distance and extended distance as well. And then it's a software integration with it.
We're gonna have to
so
check
you're
that
getting
out.
a thing to do, because here's the variable, man. BCs.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants muzzle velocity. Change muzzle velocity. Wrong. It's BCs. And what we need to do is get to that and create an actual curve, and this is what's helping do it on a budget without having Doppler.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I'm trying to think. There was a couple chassis stuff changing, XLRs with their NV upgrades, and MDT with their stuff.
The ACC from NDC.
Yeah, the ACC is really good.
Yep.
And what else? I'm trying to think.
What did you think of American Rifle Company?
Yeah. Ted's definitely there.
Right.
It's just he's got to pick up his mind a little bit. He changes a lot, but it's a good. I get where he's coming from. All good stuff. JP's new chassis.
We got to go there and
really
see Brian
nice
Whalen.
one.
Was Brian Whalen there?
Yeah, but he's in and out.
Yeah, they're going to send us one to eval.
Okay,
JP stuff. I'm a JP fan, and then POF, 6.8 pound, 7.62 AR for the 3-gun guys and stuff, and then the rifle version of it is 8.6 pounds.
Okay.
So POF's got a nice little system for that.
Well, your prognostications last year around 224 Valkyrie. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got.
Everybody jumped on that.
I love the Valkyrie.
I
I met somebody first time out. We shot a Valkyrie in a match, and they top 10'd it, and everybody was laughing at them when they showed up, and then they come in the top 10 with the thing. I just heard the story today or yesterday about it. The Valkyrie's viable.
Yeah.
And
Savage, they've got multiple platforms ready to roll.
Exactly.
And I'm coming out with a rifle through Ashbury.
Oh, you are?
1995.
Okay, so one thing we noticed, sorry to cut you off there, was just the prevalence of 1995 priced rifles for production class.
Coincides with the production class.
Right, so Defiance.
I call it a training rifle.
So Defiance through Bad Rock, they they set up a whole subsidiary around it. Did we see one from Seekins?
Yes, Seekins is doing something.
Right, and now Ashburn. I mean, that to me really stood out.
We're getting wider. If you everywhere you go on the show, you hear people buzzing. Precision rifle is the fastest moving market. Precision rifle is the only market, so they're all jumping in, and it's going to saturate and mess things up. But at the same time, we're reaching more people out there, and we're bringing in a lot of new blood. Yeah. The new blood does not have the money some of us have to do certain things. So you have to hit this price point. And, you know, I do classes all over the place and train and teach. Everybody's, what rifle do I get? Rifle do I get? You know, we had the Rugers and the Tikkas and the things, but what we're doing with these rifles right now is we're buying them brand new, we're taking them apart and putting the better parts on them, and then going out and going to work. Yeah. So I'm doing a turnkey system with Ashbury. They're taking these 700 actions that we have, barreled actions. They take them apart, they clean them up, they do what they do. I'm replacing them with Trigger Tech triggers.
Oh yeah.
Putting them in Ashbury's chassis, and I spec'd out the back end, which you can upgrade because it's modular.
Right.
It's turnkey, it's done, it's ready to go. And so it's threaded, 6.5, 308, whatever you want, and I'm calling it a training rifle. Grip adjustment for things.
That's,
you know, all that stuff. Like Macmillan, with the market, because it's growing, women and kids. Macmillan's doing that A10 stock that fits my hand now. Yeah, so going back to the Ashbury rifle, that has the adjustable grip, not only forward and back for hand size, angle, 1911, AM16. You can put it straight, you can do whatever you want, but it's modular, you can change it out. Yep. And it just, the center section stays, you just pull the ends out and put on what you want. So we're looking at that because, like I said, we're bringing in so many new people, and the deal is that not everybody has that disposable income. So we're talking about put it with an SHV, $1,200. We're looking at with Tango 4s because they're $800. Right. And we can reach a broader crowd if we're making quality stuff that can shoot and that's turnkey and doesn't need to be modified for a little less money.
That's right. And I see with the Oryx chassis now.
Yeah, the Oryx, all that stuff. Prices are going down at the same time. Prices are going up. But you know what I mean? And I was just talking over at Night Force and everything. We're running into like electronics now.
Yes.
Because our shelf life is turning. Even though this stuff's not obsolete, the shelf life is quick because everything's turning over so fast with this growth within the industry.
Right.
And I really think we're going to see even more. I predict a big spin in 3 years. I'm going to predict, like on the competition side and on the whole thing that we're doing, I think the 26 pounds are going to go. I think we're going to go back to lighter, practical, and if they want to do 3-gun with a precision rifle, that'll be one other little separate thing on a straight range, and then everybody else is going to run to the field and do the field stuff because we're promoting that kind of thing. Look, we got the laser rangefinders behind you. I'm with Nukon. Nukon's got great lasers. Their price point is almost half of the Vectronics stuff. And then integration, right? Kestrel with their HUD. Kestrel, look at all that integration that's going on with the different devices. Over here, Leica with the 5700 talks to that, to that. Well, if you're shooting this, 3-gun with your precision rifle, you don't need a laser and all that. So why are these guys investing in all this equipment when you're given the range and you're inside $1,000? Right. So it's gonna spin. And then the ELR is getting promoted so much.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of these lasers we're dealing with can't reach those ELR ranges. Paul Phillips just hit 6,000 yards. Okay, I interviewed him the other day. Well, the Nukon guys, like again, we're talking 3,500 meters for $6,000, not $9,000 and $10,000 to go that far. And they integrate with all the software. They got all that integration with an app. You can control the like Vectronics does as well. Vectronics will now talk to Hornady, Tresal, all these different things because they're doing system integration with the electronics. Because everybody's got their face in a phone.
So if I hear you right, are you saying that in the next 2 or 3 years you're going to see more of a back to basics approach? It's like, why do I have a 25-pound rifle
and a 6mm? Because you can't walk anywhere with it.
Right.
And again, I think it's interesting how this sport has evolved. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on that because a few years ago, the prominent caliber was 6.5. A lot of folks moved to 6 because light recoiling.
But it still pushes in the wind. I don't like shooting a 6 on my range because my wind's too strong. Look at out here in these 40-mile-an-hour winds and stuff, 25-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, you know, 15 has become the new average on my personal range. The 6mm falls apart after 800 yards in that. And then the 6.5 is half the drift.
Do you think a lot of guys will move back to 6.5 or maybe have 2 different guns?
Yeah, 2 different guns, caliber changes and the different things.
Yeah, a lot of switch barrel rifles.
Switch barrel rifle. I mean, in going back to what we're talking about, I'm talking AI, the ASR comes out and all that. Well, AI's got the team guys. One of the team guys put the straight taper barrel on the AI. Okay, 11-pound barrel. AI told him, no, that's not our gun. Put our barrel back on. You know what I mean? Because it's going to change back. I'm promoting, Phil's promoting, Gunworks. They're doing 2-side matches now. You got a PRS day and you got a field day. You know what I mean? You could do that. That's no problem. And you can mix the best of both worlds like Gunworks did last year, and it was successful.
So just back to something that's more practical.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If Gunworks puts walking into their field day, your 26-pound...
That's gone.
That'll be the first thing to go.
Right. Because now, it worked on the first day, but how's that going to work on the second day? You're going to fall apart a hell of a lot quicker than I will. You know, and that's... But sorry, I'm talking fast.
No. That's fine. So a more practical, fungible rifle system. And again, you know, you think. I mean, when we got into this together, shooting together, it was 2013, and it was still you didn't see a lot of these accoutrements.
And actually, it went the other way. I went to a lighter rifle because I was walking around a lot. There was positional,
especially where you guys are. Carl Taylor's match, the Kettle Falls. You're walking.
Yes. And going back to when I started shooting down at NorCal Shooting Club at the time, it was 308, and I had a Remington 700 Sendero with a 26-inch barrel. I was shooting 155 CNRs, got me out to 1,000 yards. Yet I could have taken that thing elk hunting. I mean, it worked.
And we're going to see crossover in that direction. We're going to have to go back to, like I've been harping on, fundamental Frank. You're going to Phil Falejo. You're going to have to go back to fundamentals because you're not going to be able to cheat it with a 12-pound rifle like you do with a 26-pound rifle. You know what I mean? A 26-pound rifle will hide a lot of bullshit.
That's right.
A 12-pounder won't. And that's going to be a case. And there's a movement taking place. You know, it might be slow and quiet. They're not out there, you know, crowing on Facebook. But there's a lot of people I've talked to this week that want to go back to more practicality.
That makes a lot of sense, and I know you've always been a big advocate of having a rifle that also fits you. And
got to fit the shooter.
And going back to obviously that's you know part and parcel with your offering from Ashbury Precision, but you know a lot of stocks you can't move that grip, and it's important for trigger.
Like McMillan just had to make a stock that's smaller for kids and women. You know, Regina designed it with them, and the girls over there, Brittany and everybody. You know, they have it so you can bring it. I have pictures where my finger, all I have to do is this on a McMillan stock now, and I'm perfect to the trigger.
Exactly, and that's why you see triggers now with movable shoes.
Right.
And
marksmanship, man, it matters.
Yeah, and MDT, if your existing chassis, if the grip is immobile, they have a AR-15 style grip that has a good almost an inch. I mean,
somebody
it really
else
moves.
just did that with a moving grip too, and I can't think of who I just saw that had a movable grip forward and back in the chassis. Somebody else just had one that I'm spacing it. But then Trigger Tech, 2-stage triggers out now.
Yes.
Because you can marry up to that trigger and not pop it, and you're not going to do this.
Right.
Because you can marry, break it, and freeze. You're not going, doop, because I can't touch it. It's 2 ounces or 8 ounces. You know, it's not, it's marry, break, done.
So Knowledge Bomb.
Yep.
So that's, we've been using that. It's an ode to you. Yep. By the way, we've been giving you attribution with our Knowledge Bombs. But 2-stage trigger now, people are moving back to that. On movers, a lot of people shot single stage, or were used to slapping it. So with a 2-stage trigger and movers, do you slap through both stages, or you take up the first?
No, you take up the first and you're in position and you hit that wall and you break it the same. You know what I mean? You come up and you got slack, and if you don't have the shot, you come off. right? You can come off that first stage and release it, come back on it, and it's on it, brake. Nope, not there, I'll release. On it, brake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have that control.
Right.
We're the driver. Why are we letting the rifle drive us? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with that stuff, and I think we're going to see this change.
So back to gear and equipment that's fairly new. I know you get sent a lot of stuff for review. I saw that you had the ZCO. We went and talked to those guys.
Yep.
Product shipping, get it through Mile High Shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think of the ZCO? What's been your experience so far?
Wow.
Okay.
It's everything they say, and I don't want to get too into it, but I know the guys who did it. I went to Austria and I stayed with the one guy who's part of that, Robert.
Yep.
I gave his son, the year the Broncos won, I gave his son a jersey when I was out there when they won this 50th Super Bowl. And so when I showed up, I'm like, hey, thanks for hosting us. Here's a shirt for your son and daughter and stuff. This comes out of that pedigree, okay? The resolution and everything is really on, and it's simple, man. It's not overly complex, and I like, talking with Night Force guys today about their stuff. They're not complex. I don't have to learn new switches and levers and zero stops and things like that. And, I'm not trying to create this overly complex way of doing something we've been doing already really easy. So the zero compromise is definitely legit, but it's in a price point where it's where it's right at the price point as other top end options. Is it worth it? I absolutely think it's worth every penny.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Robert's son, Lucas, I believe is his name. He was there in the booth, just incredibly knowledgeable. So I think it's kind of cool too. You have this.
Yeah.
You've got real people.
There's a pedigree. I know people say an unproven optic now. There's a pedigree there, man. This comes out of a family of people, and it's a good, solid scope. It's fun to look through because it's not burning your eyes out. And the farther we shoot, you start to get that darkened in sight picture. If you put your scopes in a fixture and put your camera behind it and then start cranking your elevation up, you're going to see that start getting dark and gray.
Right.
Yeah.
With having that better resolution and all that. I mean, talking with Schmidt about the same thing. It's the scope industry in some ways, with some players, not a lot, mostly the OEM guys. I'm not talking the big ones, but are saying, oh, look at me, I'm this on the outside. That's neutral for the big players. And then I said, why are you worrying about the outside of a scope? It's what's going on the inside that matters, what we're looking through.
Yeah.
We need to bump that stuff up. We should be going in that direction and not playing around on the outside of things. And that's where you're seeing where the Night Force goes back to its roots. The zero compromise is a simplistic scope. It's going back to those roots. But where did they put their money? On the inside.
Right.
In the glass. And that's where it matters, because field stuff, competitions, Sniper's Hide match in June, you got to find that target in the trees when Carl lays it down and doesn't paint it and only gives you a quarter look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a square range, one target at 400 yards, hit it 5 times. It's where is that target?
That's right. You need to be able to find it.
You need to be able to find it and shoot it. And if you've got some budget optics and stuff, you ain't finding anything in the woods.
So pivoting back to Schmidt Bender, we were there. Steve interviewed them, and they had the grid. The grid
it looks
reticle.
better in person than it does in pictures.
So what are your thoughts on
I
that?
like it when you look at it. Don't go by the image or the still image there or the picture. When you look through it, it works. I think they did a really good job of subduing the grid and keeping the reticle, the crosshair out. Our eye likes a defined center. Okay, we like to look at a cross. We don't like grids because our brain is going to say, which grid do you want me to use?
Right.
And whichever one stands out the most is where our eye's going to go. It's human nature, man.
Yeah, and I also got to give Night Force credit with their new reticle. Was it the MX one?
The XT. Yes, the new Night Force.
The new one, and because for me, what I like is the fact that they also number the top part, because I learned I was squatted with Brian Morgan one time, and he said, "Hey Ed, dial for the far difficult target and hold under for the closer targets. And if they're not numbered, sometimes I'll speak for myself. I get confused. And
what's the high priority, low priority? The far one's the high priority, where you have to take your time and opportunity to hit it. You got to concentrate. The close ones are give-me's.
Yeah.
So if I got to be a little fudge factor, target's going to get bigger. It's going to absorb error.
Exactly.
But the far one's smaller, and you got to be tighter. I got to dial into that guy. And then when I get close, I can hold and do things like that. So that's what it is. I mean, holdover reticles are permitted a man inside your danger space. That's the old man, he's right there, pop up, I got to take him now. Speed. It's not precision, it's speed. Where the precision is the far shot. As we get closer, that becomes a less priority as far as that precision goes.
I'd like to change topics a little bit. Talk a little bit more about kind of where you spend a lot of time, Sniper Side, the Everyday Sniper podcast.
Yeah, that thing went nuts, huh?
Let's talk about the podcast first. I mean, you kicked that off about
number 4 for 2018 and the hottest podcast.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Yeah. And the most comments for 2018, Joe Rogan was number 1, I'm number 6. In my space, the top 10 for my space of sports and recreation, I'm number 6. Someone like Meat Eater was number 7.
Yeah.
In 1 year, because we launched it last year at this time.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's just taken off, and it's been fun. I love going on the rants and just being able to talk. It's a lot less editing than video.
Right.
And it's just a fun time. And I got all new board that came in while I was away over Christmas. I could do much better phone in and all kinds of stuff. I pre-ordered a pretty crazy board and everything, and it works good.
So do you do that from home, or where do you do the show?
I do everywhere now.
Okay.
I do it from home. I do it at Mike's house. We have sets up all over.
So you just bring your electronics kit with you?
I set Mike up with some stuff.
Okay.
I have it on my phone. I can do the lab mics here, like at the road stuff that, the lab. And I did the podcast with Paul Phillips, shooting 6,000 in the booth yesterday at Mile High's back room. So I could podcast anywhere.
Yeah.
And I just knock it out on my phone, upload it, and go. And then the Sniper's Hide is just insane. It's before I left to scout, I was doing 4.7 terabits of data a month. Today, I'm doing over 6 terabits of data a month. That's big. My server costs in the last 6 months doubled twice.
And so, we've spoken with you before. You had Sniper's Hide, you had the association with Scout.
Yep.
Now you're back. I mean, have you gotten?
Yeah,
are you
that's
back
gone,
on that?
man.
You're back on that little blip.
Yeah.
It's out.
Yeah.
The scout funk is gone. You know what I mean? And between the podcast, the site, it's the amount of people I'm reaching is beyond 6-7 million a month.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? I'm hitting numbers that I don't believe, and I don't even really look at them anymore. But lately, because when I get a bigger bill, I'm like, why did my bill go up? And I'm looking at the stats, and I'm like, holy cow, I jumped up that much in the last 2 months.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, because precision rifle is the fastest moving space, and everybody wants to be in precision rifle.
Well, you saw that article in Forbes, right? Talk about going mainstream.
Yeah, well, with Shannon in that. Yeah. So there is a movement afoot.
How do you plan out kind of the schedule as far as who's on the show, what you're
Not very well. I have no plan. I'm a free flow. There's no script, no nothing. I free flow it. Whatever comes into my head is what I talk about at any given moment.
Okay, but I mean, are you lining up people?
No.
No.
If I think about it and I call somebody, like I said, I didn't like the phone in before.
Yeah.
So now that I got the new system, I like it better, and I've been talking to people at the show.
Yeah.
But I am not organized. I don't care. I just do what I say what I do. I have zero filter, unfiltered Frank, and I'm just moving in my direction. Damn be the haters, and because they're this big.
There will always be the haters.
Well, but honestly, they're that.
Yeah.
Well, we've gotten, when we started this out, we said when some of the haters come out, that will be a badge of success. It means we've succeeded, and we've got a few ourselves.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fun. You know what I mean? I'm having fun. I'm entertaining me. I got to have fun too. So I go on the podcast. I talk about ghost aliens, Oak Island. I'm talking about whatever Godzilla movie. I'm like, hey, I saw that girl and she was thrown out of an airplane, and the next thing she's helping James Bond, and it's like, what the heck is going on? on, you know.
So I'm sure you've covered the impending zombie apocalypse. And
Yeah,
how to
they're
prepare.
massing at the border, man. They're only 6 feet away.
Oh, good. Yeah, exactly. No, I'd say
Think
that all
about
the
it.
time. Yeah,
They're right underfoot.
absolutely. There's one right behind you now. Move.
So, yeah. Anyway, I'm railing. I'm ranting. Frank's ranting.
No, I love having my own channel where I can just be me.
All right.
So, go ahead, man. What's another one?
Well, let's see. I think we've covered
hit it all.
Yeah, I think. Oh, Rimfire! Holy moly!
Rimfire's through
Oh,
the roof.
yeah.
Yeah, we talked with the NRO guys, 2 years in, and look at the level of success.
That was the
they've
smartest move they ever made, man.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos to them. I saw the Voodoo guys today. Talked to Paul.
Yeah.
And you talk about Sniper's Hide and stuff. Who is the #1 driver of Voodoo guns? Sniper's Hide.
Yeah.
I own one. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
terrific, and it's interesting. We were at the Anschutz booth, and sure enough, now they have instead of like getting their action and trying to figure it out yourself, they have a complete like off the shelf.
And it's not something for Olympic style
Right.
22. This is
Exactly.
made for NRL 22.
And
CZ. I mean, they're really
Savage, yeah, they're-
yeah. Well, yeah, Savage. It was really the Savage booth too. Was I mean those for one of the big
Big companies, yeah,
big
they're paying
companies.
attention.
They're very nimble.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
give them credit for that.
Well, and Mike Bush came out of Savage Bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where Voodoo and some of that. And he worked there, and now he grew up so big he's not at there. And there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But 22 is a fantastic way to play this game. But they just had a 22 ELR event out here over the weekend.
I heard that.
And the Thunder Beast guy won it or something. The new Thunder Beast bipod, SkyPods and
Yes.
MDT,
Right.
Atlas Cal Gen 2, and you're seeing a design change.
Our friends at Accutac
Yeah,
came over there.
And so it's a lot of movement and with purpose, and so that's important. And I don't know. I think it's cool, man. I mean, we're in great times,
Absolutely.
and we're in bad times because it's gotten to be too much sometimes. I liked it when it was 10 things and not 100.
Well, it does make it does make it challenging, and I would have again, when I mentioned earlier what it was like getting into this over a decade ago, I could imagine now. I mean, it was intimidating for me back in 2007 getting into it. I can just imagine for somebody that's new, they go to their first match and they just see some of this. I mean, that just must blow their mind, and they're like, this guy.
Well, there's all this electronics and all these gears and bags and tripods. Like, wait a second, I just have my, whatever.
Oh, well, like Kestrel heads-up display. What did you think of that?
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the Kestrel stuff, man. The heads-up display is rock solid.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. So, yeah.
Now I think we've covered everything.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's been a great year.
It's great seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Great seeing you as
Yeah.
always. As always. And again, thanks to the good folks at Capstone for letting us use
Yeah,
their
sit in
area
their
here.
booth and take up their space. Appreciate it.
Well, Frank, thank you again for spending time
Thanks,
with us,
guys.
with
Wish you luck
our audience.
again for
Yeah,
next
you
year.
guys too. You guys do great.